In India's ancient folklore, there is a legend as old as Hinduism itself, one that challenges the mind. This legend tells of a sacred island filled with mysteries. It is said that, long ago, this island located to the north of the Himalayas once shone like a paradise in the middle of the Central Asian Sea, surrounded by water. However, today this area is entirely covered by land. On this enchanting island, a humanoid race with divine abilities is said to have lived. Reaching them or communicating with them was considered impossible for the outside world. However, the island's secrets were not limited to its surface. Thanks to the thousands of kilometers of underground tunnels extending from the heart of the island, this superior race had the power to rule the world unnoticed. They had built a civilization that was incredibly advanced in art and science. This people lived in peace and prosperity, isolating themselves from the dangers, wars, and diseases of the outside world. The island was a sanctuary, a utopia for them, but no utopia can last forever. As the shadow of a disaster silently crept over this advanced society, their fate would change. That paradise island would be wiped from the surface of the earth, condemning them to the dark corridors beneath the ground forever. Welcome to a fascinating journey for those who seek the truth. Now let us delve into the depths of this mysterious story. Are you ready? Today, access to information has become easier. The internet seems to be able to uncover secrets hidden in the depths of history. However, this also makes it even more difficult to learn the truths behind an ancient legend like Agartha. Why? Because along with the information, countless conspiracy theories have emerged, covering the truths with a thick veil of fog. In this journey, we will attempt to navigate through that fog and uncover the mystery of the Agartha civilization. First stop, Alexandre Saint-Yves and the mysterious Agartha. Alexandre Saint-Yves d'Alvedre, a French researcher, philosopher, and occultist who lived in the 19th century, was the first to introduce the Agartha legend to the Western world. Although a figure that has been largely forgotten, Saint-Yves remains one of the significant representatives of French esoteric culture. His deep interest in the unknown arts led him to learn ancient languages, such as Hebrew and Sanskrit. This journey eventually brought him together with an Indian scholar, Prince Haji Sharif. While learning Sanskrit, he stumbled upon a text that contained a life-changing sentence, information taken from the great Agartha school. Saint-Yves decided to follow the trail of this sentence. Through what he learned from Prince Haji Sharif, he began to realize that Agartha was not just a myth, but was hiding an ancient truth. Prince Haji Sharif began to share small pieces of information about Agartha. It was believed that this ancient civilization lived in vast underground cities deep within the earth. The people of Agartha were considered to be superior beings, both physically and spiritually. Their wisdom and technologies far surpassed the civilizations on the surface of the world. The governance of this society was led by a spiritual leader named Brahma, along with his assistants Mahatma and Mahanga. Saint-Yves made great efforts to better understand these ancient teachings. Prince Haji Sharif taught him an alphabet called Vatanian, believed to be the origin of all human languages. This language was thought to have been used worldwide before the blending of languages in 51,900 BC. Haji Sharif gave Saint-Yves a note written in Vatanian, which read, "You are not ready for this language yet, but one day you will be." Saint-Yves gathered his knowledge about Agartha in his book, An Asian Europe, an European Mission in Asia. This book became the first work to introduce the secrets of Agartha to the Western world. In it, he wrote that Agartha once ruled the surface of the world, but was forced to retreat underground with the onset of the Dark Age known as Kali Yuga. According to Hindu culture, time is divided into 4 main cycles, and the period we are currently in is Kali Yuga, the darkest age. During this age, humanity drifts away from spirituality and turns toward materialism. It is believed that the people of Agartha retreated underground during this time. They believe that when the surface of the world regains its spiritual balance, Agartha will re-emerge. The Agartha legend might not only be a story of a civilization, but also a clue to humanity's shared history. This tale evokes memories of the Sumerians, the Anunnaki, the wars of the Hindu gods, and many other cultural myths. Could they all be connected in some way? Perhaps the answer to this question lies hidden in the depths of Agartha. If you're ready, let's continue our journey into the secrets of this ancient civilization. The depths of Agartha may hold the long-awaited answers regarding the origins of humanity. Despite the limited vocabulary of his time, Saint provided striking details when describing Agartha. This underground civilization had gas-free burning lamps, trains descending into the earth, and floating vehicles. However, the most surprising detail was his description of fiber optic cables, the backbone of today's technology. Saint relayed these passages from ancient texts about this technology. Flexible glass pathways through which electricity moves, not made of metal. What seemed like fantasy at the time strikingly resembles today's fiber optic cables. Even more impressive is that this system could operate without depleting the planet's resources. Isn't it fascinating that a civilization thousands of years ago could predict today's technology with such precision? The people of Agartha had lived in isolation underground for thousands of years, undergoing both physical and mental evolution during this time. Saint noted that this civilization was fluent in 2 different languages. Interestingly, this ability was not symbolic but a genuine skill. This bilingual proficiency revealed both the richness of their communication and their superiority in the transmission of knowledge. Saint, as a result of the teachings he received from his mentor, Prince Haji Sharif, wrote the book mentioned earlier. This work contained information about Agartha's history, culture, and secrets. However, the interesting part was that, while hundreds of copies of the book were printed, Saint abruptly decided to recall and burn all the copies. Only 1 copy, which he had personally prepared, remained. How did this book survive to the present day? After Saint-Yves's death, his belongings were passed down to his stepson. By chance, his stepson recognized the importance of the book and gave it to the well-known occult leader, Dr. Gerard Incas. In 1910, the book was republished, but it was discovered that some pages were missing. What was contained in these lost pages remains a mystery. Some believe the pages describe the entry points to Agartha, while others think the information contained within was too advanced for humanity to comprehend at the time. Why was it hidden? There are many theories about why Saint destroyed his book. One theory is the concern that revealing the entry points to Agartha would cause chaos in the world. Another theory suggests that the ancient knowledge was beyond humanity's capacity for understanding, and sharing it prematurely could lead to dangerous consequences. Perhaps the reason Saint destroyed all the copies of his book after fully working with the ancient knowledge is linked to an occult teaching. He who knows does not speak, and he who speaks does not know. Perhaps Saint believed that rather than fully revealing Agartha's secrets, humanity needed to discover this knowledge in its own time. Whatever the truth, the story of Agartha and Saint carries wisdom that still waits to be uncovered in its depths. The idea of an ancient civilization living underground is not only found in Alexander Saint-Yves's book, but also appears in the mythologies and religious texts of various cultures. These legends bear traces of a common narrative told around the world, all pointing to a mysterious civilization hidden beneath the earth. The mystical Jewish text Zohar suggests that the Garden of Eden, where humanity was created, should be sought not on the surface of the earth, but in an underground kingdom. This belief points to a sacred cave, the Cave of the Patriarchs, also known as Machpelah Cave in Jewish tradition. Today, this cave is associated with the Ibrahim Mosque, and legends tell that the prophet Ibrahim wished to be buried there. Folklore from various corners of the world reflects a similar story. The Navajo tribe believes their ancestors emerged from a world beneath the Navajo Mountains. The Aztecs believed that after the Great Flood, 7 tribes that recreated humanity emerged from an underground city called Aslan. In Iranian, Indian, Chinese, and Aztec mythology, the underground is depicted as a central place where gods created and populated the human race. These narratives are summarized in Records of the Past by Archibald Sayce. There is a central point. a center where gods and humans were created. And they all say the same thing. This center is within the earth. Polish scientist Ferdynand Ossendowski, in his 1922 book, Beasts, Men, and Gods, shares a compelling story from his travels in Asia. In the vast plains of Mongolia, he describes a strange occurrence where animals and humans suddenly stop and fall into absolute silence. When Ossendowski inquired about this odd situation, the local shepherds told him, "This is the time when the king of the world living underground prays. He prays for humanity to find our destiny." The shepherds also tell him that the leader of this underground realm is King Brahmatma, who can communicate directly with the gods. He is aided by two figures, Mahitma, who can see the future, and Mahinga, who determines the cause of events. Tibetan monks also claim that this king can destroy a region with divine power and flashes of light. These stories remarkably align with the book of Alexandre Saint-Yves. However, these narratives do not rely solely on him. His teacher, Prince Haji Sharif, was one of the first to pass on knowledge of this ancient realm. Additionally, historian Louise Jacqueliot, in his 1873 book In India, mentions a place he calls the City of the Sun, which he identifies as Agartha. The ruler of this city is referred to as Brahmastra. Shambhala, the Agartha of East Asia. What about China and East Asia? Does the idea of a mysterious underground city appear in these regions as well? Yes, these stories appear under the name Shambhala. The Shambhala legend presents a narrative parallel to the Agartha myth, but takes it to a different dimension. Shambhala is depicted not only as a physical city, but also as a spiritual center of balance. Common mysteries, global narratives. The fact that different cultures, independent of one another, point to the same ancient civilization suggests that these legends are more than mere fiction. They are based on a shared universal reality. Perhaps the underground kingdom, hidden for millennia, is a deeply embedded secret within humanity's collective memory. Is it real or a legend? The answer to this question may very well be for our generation to uncover. For thousands of years, rumors of a much more advanced civilization living underground have surfaced across various cultures. In particular, startling details can be found within Asian traditions. Alongside Agartha, another legendary city emerges in these ancient stories: Shambhala. Shambhala in ancient texts. In the ancient Bon scriptures, Shambhala is described as the city of 1,000 names in a forbidden realm. It is depicted as a divine land where white waters flow and living flames exist. The Chinese refer to it as Shi Huangmu's Western Paradise, while the ancient Russians called it Opuna Kingdom. Hindus named this mysterious place Aryavartha, meaning the land of the worthy. In Vatanian, Agartha means the place that allows no violence, while in Sanskrit, Shambhala translates to the land of peace. Despite the different names, the descriptions and attributes are remarkably similar. Shambhala is described as a hidden paradise deep within the earth. According to legend, the people who live there are completely isolated from the outside world. It is said to be a realm where no one falls ill or ages, where peace reigns and is ruled by a divine king. Ancient texts suggest that to reach Shambhala, one must pass through the Himalayas, with the path guarded by a hidden temple amidst canyons. The figure who popularized the Shambhala legend in the West was the controversial Russian occultist and philosopher Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Between 1868 and 1870, she was reportedly trained by Tibetan Buddhist monks, during which she underwent spiritual initiation. Blavatsky devoted her life to seeking esoteric secrets, conducting detailed research in India and China. She claimed to have discovered part of the hidden knowledge in the Fujian province of China. She described this region as the great throne of occult teachings and indicated that clues about a mystical island, the first form of Agartha on Earth, were hidden there. Blavatsky's notes include the following intriguing statement: "According to what I have learned, the secrets of the mysterious island of the past now lie within the teachings of the people of this region. Unfortunately, the island no longer exists, but according to Blavatsky, its exact location lies beneath the Great Snowy Mountains, where the kingdom of its people continues to thrive. When examining the writings of Blavatsky and other explorers, such as Nicholas Roerich, who dedicated their lives to seeking Shambhala, it appears that Shambhala and Agartha are the same place or two cities within the same kingdom. The myths, leaders, and philosophies of both realms are almost identical. The primary difference lies in the evolution of their names over time. Ancient texts frequently mention the Hindu Kush Mountains in the Himalayas as a key location. Ground research has confirmed the presence of extensive cave networks in this region. However, we still lack the technology to explore deeper into these caves. Furthermore, there is compelling evidence that the region and the Gobi Desert were once part of the seabed. The most compelling evidence lies in the shared stories told by dozens of independent cultures. A great catastrophe, known as the War of the Gods, is said to have nearly wiped out humanity. After this destruction, humans are believed to have emerged from underground, guided by an advanced race that had lived below the Earth's surface. At this point, the concept of tunnels becomes noteworthy. Many legends speak of secret tunnels that lead to these underground realms. But what is the mystery behind these tunnels? Let's explore this topic in more detail. Throughout history, many civilizations have believed in gateways to mysterious worlds deep beneath the earth. One such location is the Cave of Machpelah, still considered sacred and closed to visitors. Archaeologists have found millennia-old relics in the upper chambers of the cave system, but it remains impossible to explore its deeper levels due to its sacred status. What might be hidden deeper within the cave? The Mayans referred to their belief in an underground realm as Xibalba, a place inhabited by divine beings. The Popol Vuh, an important part of Maya mythology, describes giant structures and an entrance in Guatemala to this underworld. Though this could be merely a legend, recent excavations in the Tikal region of Guatemala have revealed the existence of underground tunnels and cave networks. The mystery of these tunnels is still being investigated. In Mexico, the hidden underground tunnels and temples beneath the ancient city of Teotihuacan are also being studied by historians and archaeologists. Though the purpose and destinations of these tunnels remain unanswered, their discovery deepens the historical mystery of the region. Another enigma arises in Egypt, as the famous historian Herodotus recorded during his visit to Egypt in the 5th century BCE. I saw exactly 12 palaces, each of them connected to the others. Beneath the enormous roofs, there were 12 courtyards, each opened in sections. It's hard to believe that these were made by human hands. All the walls were finely crafted, made of white marble, and supported by massive columns. Right next to this enormous structure was a 75-meter-high pyramid, decorated with animal motifs. They took me through an underground tunnel into the pyramid, and they told me that these tunnels stretched all the way to the pyramids in Memphis. In India, another underground world called Patala is mentioned. This realm is believed to be inhabited by divine beings known as the Nagas, half-human, half-serpent entities. This myth extends beyond India to places like Sri Lanka, Cambodia, and Thailand, where similar narratives exist. The Nagas are said to have assisted humanity's development and spread knowledge. Why are these beings described in serpent form? Some researchers suggest that these ancient peoples from underground realms may have been symbolically depicted as serpents due to their physiological characteristics. These myths are united by the common threads that bind different cultures, beliefs about ancient realms and peoples. They are not merely legends, but have also been reinforced by countless discoveries and research. Esoteric thinkers like Alexandre Saint-Yves and Helena Blavatsky studied and shared knowledge about underground kingdoms in their works. Blavatsky, in particular, reported finding important clues about these underground realms during her research in India and China. Moreover, Alfred Percy Sinnett, who was trained for 7 years by a mysterious Indian group, gained deep knowledge about the Agartha order. However, such information has been challenging for Western thinkers to comprehend, as it requires a fusion of Eastern and Western modes of thought to fully grasp. All these stories and discoveries point to a far greater secret hidden deep within the earth. Agartha and Shambhala, along with other underground kingdoms, may not simply be myths, but reflections of shared beliefs from numerous cultures and civilizations. These ancient realms might hold the traces of lost peoples from history. Perhaps thousands of years later, these teachings will continue to impart knowledge to us.